Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. VOCEDplus just got even better. Discover our fresh interface and new features. My name's Kelly Fraser. I manage the knowledge management branch here at NCVER, and this branch is responsible for creating and maintaining and managing VOCEDplus. Wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their continued spiritual connection to land. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So let's get on with the webinar. VOCEDplus just got even better. So for those of you who perhaps are new to VOCEDplus, let's just give you a quick overview of the website. So VOCEDplus is a free international research database for the vet sector. It covers education and training from vet in secondary schools up to tertiary education. The areas include apprenticeships and traineeships, workforce development, skill needs, youth transitions, lifelong learning, vet policy, and much more. And in the database, you'll find a variety of resource types, such as research reports, journals and journal articles, conference proceedings, conference papers, books and book chapters, theses, policy documents, statistical reports, and multimedia resources such as podcasts and webinars. So VOCEDplus is international, both in coverage and usage. While the largest group of users are Australian, we get visitors from every country around the world. Currently, the database contains more than 97,000 items, of which a significant proportion are peer-reviewed and an even bigger proportion are available full text. More than half of the records contain either the links to the full text, where you'll find it on the web, so the URL, or where we hold the item in our repository, you can immediately download the item from the record. So VOCEDplus also has several tools and products to assist you in finding and using information. So there's a lot of great stuff to find in VOCEDplus. And if you are new, I do encourage you to take a look at the website, take some time to explore it and let us know what you think. But now there's even more to like about the website. That's the purpose of today's webinar. VOCEDplus now offers an enriched information experience through the improvements we have made, including simpler navigation, enhanced search functionality, and an improved My Selection, which lets you share and organise your items for future access. And the new features that we've released, such as My Profile, I'll show you how to create one, and how to use the search history and save searches to save yourself time when researching. So it's exciting to show you these new and improved features. So let's get started. Let's head to the website. So here's the new homepage for VOCEDplus. Actually, it looks pretty similar to what it did before. One of the main changes, though, is the navigation. So now we have the ability to easily access all elements of our main 3 resources. Here you'll see the Knowledge Bank, Vet Practitioners Resource, and the Pod Network. So these are up in the top menu now, which allows you to immediately drill down into any of the aspects of these resources without having to do multiple clicks. For example, with the Pod Network, you can jump straight to one of the pods that you're interested in. All our other resources are still available here in the Resources tab. And we also have our browse list still available. Pages that used to be up here in the top menu now sit down in the footer. So here you'll find about VOCEDplus. You'll find information about our services. And probably most importantly, you'll find the Contact Us form and our help page. Also up the top here, we have my selection, which used to be in the main resource, in the main menu tab. And we also have our news feature here with this clock icon, which is saved searches and search history. And the person icon is my profile. So with my profile, you can sign up to get a login for VOCEDplus. And a login allows you to take full advantage of the My Selection folders feature and the new saved search and email alert tool. So I do encourage you to sign up. It's very easy. You just need an email and a password. So click on my profile here. And to create a new profile, just come down here to the bottom of this pop-up box and click on sign up. Here you enter your email, a password and confirm that password, a few checkboxes here, and then submit. You'll then receive a verification email, and you can confirm your email address by clicking on the link in the email, and it's that simple. I'm just going to log in as myself because that will allow me to demonstrate the full functionality of the new features as we progress. They've got my password right. Let's try again. Okay, so when you log in or when you click on the link to verify your email, you'll be taken here to the My Profile page. And this is where you can enter more information about yourself. So there's a couple of fields here that are mandatory. You can see by the red asterisks. But it is worth just adding in all data required on this page, especially if you're going to be using any of the forms, like the document delivery form, for example. That just then draws all your contact details from your profile without you having to enter all that when you use the forms. So it's good to complete this form here. You can also come here and change your password if you need. And I do encourage you to log in as your first activity on the home, on the page, on the website. If you don't log in and then you go about sort of, adding to my selection or saving searches, you'll lose all that activity if you then log in after that. So make sure you log in first. Now let's get back to the enhanced features, looking at those. Let's look at the search options. We still have the basic search that still remains here. That's very much like just using Google. You enter some keywords or a phrase and off you go. The other two searches, guided search and expert search, now sit on different pages, and you can easily get to them from the home page or from any search results page. So let's click on guided search and take a look here. Guided search, you've now got greater flexibility in your searching. For example, you can now enter Boolean and other search operators directly into the search boxes. This makes it easier to search for multiple items in a single field. You're no longer limited to just one operator per row or one phrase per box. Now, when you select a field to search in, you can add multiple search terms and use different operators as you need. And you also have a few new search fields to choose from in the drop-down menu. Just visually, I guess the page is a bit nicer to look at, it's a bit cleaner, easier to read, more sort of spaced out search boxes. So we hope that you appreciate the new look of guided search. And let's now put it into action. Let's run a search. Let's choose a journal title here in the field list, and let's search for a couple of journal titles. So let's go with International Journal of Training. Make sure you're spelling things right. Now I want the search to treat these words as a phrase. Thus I'm putting them in the double quotation marks, which you'll probably be used to in other search engines. And I'm going to combine these two journal titles with the OR operator, which means that I want to look for the first journal title or the second journal title. So we'll retrieve records with either of these journal titles. I'm going to combine this field with another field, and I'm using the AND operator, but you can use the other two booleans if you need. And here I'm going to search for author. You can either put in the last name of an author and their first name if you know. Otherwise, just put in the last name. If you are going to put last name, first name, though, do put it in double quotation marks again, just so that we're telling the search that we want these terms to appear in this order. You don't actually, that's just habit from me, putting a comma in there. You don't actually need any punctuation though. You can just put in Smith Erica, or you could just put Smith. If you're putting just Smith, you don't need the quotation marks. Another thing to just be mindful of too with these quotation marks, that if you're copying and pasting from, for example, a Word document, make sure these aren't the curly kind of quotation marks, that they are the straight ones. Okay, so we've got two different search strings here, journal title, and then combining it with an author. And let's run the search, and hopefully we've spelled everything correctly. So this is the search results page, and you can see we've found 21 items here. Now, one of the things that is new is that we have now the search box at the top of our search results. So you can see that here. This new feature allows you to modify your search directly from this page without having to go back to the search page we were just on. So you can click on the search here, guided search, to open up the search and close it, or you can use this drop down arrow here to expand it as well. So here is the search that we ran. This is exactly how it looked on our previous search page. And from here we can modify. So let's put in a date range. So let's go 2020 to 2024. And then we can just rerun the search. And this time we've found 2 items. So we'll look at the search results page a bit more later. But let's remember that with the guided search, it's really good for field searching. So even though we've got a bit more flexibility now, you really just want to use it for very simple field searching and combining fields and using, operators in the way that is very simple. So it's not really for complex searches, and of course for complex searches we recommend the expert search. And you can access the expert search, as we saw before, from the home page, or you can actually access it here from the modify search box. So let's click on expert search. Now there's no real change in functionality here with expert search. It looks pretty much the same, but we have improved in some ways in that now the search box will automatically resize to accommodate your search string. So if you're doing one that's quite long, the box will expand for you. There's also 2 additional search fields available here in the query builder. The first one is subject and keyword. So you can use this when you want to use both subjects and keywords, but you can still, just use subject if you want, or just use keywords if you want to. But this subject and keyword is a way to, save you having to do both. You can just combine them all into one field. It also means you don't have to remember what is the subject and what is the keyword. The other field that is new is the full text one. This enables you to limit your search to items that have the full text either directly available in VOCEDplus or freely available from the publisher's website. So if you select this, it adds the field to your search string and automatically applies the limit. So you don't need to type anything in, you just simply add it. Let's start with a more simple expert search. We're going to use the subject and keyword field. So select that in our query builder and press the button and it adds it to our search box. So let's look for the word career. Now there's subjects and keywords that have the word career in them. And instead of typing all those different options out, we can just select career and it will include all the subjects and keywords that have that title. So that saves us a bit of time. And we're also going to add a resource type. So that's a field that's not available in guided search. So we're adding that in and we're just going to look for articles. And let's also add a publication range for date. So year published. Now, when we use a date range field, we actually enter our search terms in square brackets. So let's just look for the last year, say. And we're going to use the operator to, so we capitalize TO, 2024 square brackets. So we're looking for the date range 2023 to 2024. Anything to do with career in subjects and keywords, that's an article. Let's click on search now. So we've found 242 items. And you can see if I show you the facets, and we'll come to these later as well, you can see the subject career development, keywords here, career choice, career guidance. So we've got career counselling, career goal, and so on. If we scroll down to the resource type, you can see it's just brought back articles and the date, just 2023 and 2024. Okay, let's run a more complex search. And as I said before, we can do this from the search results page. We can actually, if we want to, just scrub all of what we had there and start again. But let's choose the subject and keyword field again and add that to our search box. And we're going to look for a number of keywords and subjects because we're running a search on material from the last few years on partnerships between training providers and employers. So I'm going to group a whole lot of keywords and subjects together. So I want to use a bracket because I want all of these terms that I'm going to type in to be confined to the subject and keyword tag. So let's start typing. So once again, I'm putting phrases in double quotes, and I'm using my Boolean operators and putting them in capital. And remember to always check your spelling and check that you haven't missed any punctuation. Here I'm also going to add another lot of subjects and keywords, but I want to use the OR operator between them. So I'm going to put this in another lot of brackets. So I'm going to look for providers of education and training. So that's one phrase, or industry, or employers. There's a range of subjects and keywords there. And I actually need two brackets, one to close off this group of ors and one to close off the whole thing, which is being assigned to the subject field. Now I'm going to also add a date range. Let's go add the year published again. And here in our square brackets, I'm going to choose 2010 to 2024 square bracket. And let's also add the new full text field. So I've added that to the box. It's already added the limitation. As I said, we don't need to do anything with that. Just click add. Okay, well, let's run this, and I hope but I haven't made any typing errors, and I haven't. This is what I expected to find. Good. Search found 297 items. Now, just remember that when we are limiting to this full text field, it means that we may actually be excluding, some good quality information that maybe is not freely available on the internet. For example, a lot of articles are in journals that you need to have subscriptions to. If we come down here, this search has retrieved 57 articles. If we come up to our search and remove this full text limit, rerun the search, we now have 376 items in the search results. And if we come down to our facet here, articles are now 116. So, we've got an extra 80 or so items that we've been able to retrieve for this search. So keep that in mind. And if you come across articles that aren't freely available, for example, let's just click on this top result here. So this is in a Taylor and Francis journal here. What you can do is request the item from us. So simply click on request item from NCVER. And what it does is it's pre-populated all my contact information here in these fields because I've entered that information in my profile. So I don't need to enter anything there. And what it's also done is brought across all the information about the article that I want to get access to. So all of that information is there. All you need to do is enter any special instructions if you have any, but just simply check on these boxes here, check the captcha and submit. And that now sends an email to the VOCEDplus team and we'll obtain a copy for you and probably email it to you. That's probably the best way to get it to me. So if you come across any of those records that there's no URL or anything in the repository, you can request that item from us. Let's go back to our search results. Okay, so since I did just jump into showing you facets and all sorts of things here, let's just review this search results page. So as I said, we've got the details of our search up in the top. We've got how many results, and here are our actual results listed beneath that. So for each item, we've got the title, which is hyperlinked. You just click on the title to go to the full record page, which we did before with this item. And then we've got all the metadata fields that provide us with important information about the item. So here's the first bit of the abstract. We can click on show more to read the whole abstract. Show less to get rid of that again. We've got our authors, the publication date, the geographic subjects, the resource type. So we did just look for articles at one stage in a different in a different search. So this is where you would see the resource type and the subjects. And there's also another couple of bits of information, I guess, that you may have access to, like, for example, journal title for this article, or you may have a series name. This one's for a report or a paper, and that's the series name. So that's the basic information that you need to know about the item. And if you want more information, you click on the title. On the left-hand side, you can see that we have a sort by function. That defaults to relevancy here. You can search by any of the other options here. Publication date I find is a useful one. So if we click on publication date, we'll get the most recent items listed right at the top. So this one here, 2023, and then it'll move down to 2022, 2021, and so on. And we can use the navigation across the bottom here to go to extra pages. If you wanted to do reverse sort, there's a little icon here next to publication date. Click on that, and what it does is then bring up the oldest item, in this case 2010, because our date range was 2010 to 2024. So that is the oldest item according to the search, and the newest item will be right at the last page. you can just click on the icon again to go back to most recent item first. So underneath the sort by are all our facets and all the filters that you can filter by in terms of your search results. Now, the facets show the frequently occurring metadata in the set of items that we've retrieved in the search. And you can use things to help you refine searches by honing in on specific areas of your results once you've done the initial search. It's especially useful if you get a large number of results. For example, 376 items, you could look through all those, but that is quite a lot to look through. Now, the facets have always been available, but now we've got a bit more flexibility. Previously, with some of these facets, you could only choose one filter at a time. And with others where you could choose more than one, you would see that it adjusted the search results to use the Boolean and between each of the filters. So if we filtered by this author here and this author here, then we would only retrieve results that have both of those authors in the results. But now we can select multiple filters and it combines the filters within a facet with the OR search and then the filters in another facet with the AND. So let's demonstrate that. That's probably sounds a bit confusing. For this search, let's come down to geographic subjects and let's choose North America. So we're going to look for this search, but anything that's to do with North America. And if we come down again, let's also choose Australia. So we've clicked on two filters in the one facet. So here's our search up here, and then we're saying also include anything to do with Australia or anything to do with North America. So the Boolean between them is or instead of and. So some results will be about Australia, some will be about North America, and some may be about the both of them. But now we can also add another facet. So let's choose the resource type facet, and we're going to just look for reports. So let's click on the filter report paper or authored book and choose another one. Let's go for government report or paper. So every time I'm choosing a filter, it's rerunning the search, which is why it takes us up to the top of the results page again, because these are a new set of results, and that's why we scroll down to get to the facets again. Just click on show all here so we can see all of the filters. So here's our search, and what we're saying is also find anything to do with Australia or North America. And then and, so this is where the and Boolean comes in, and we want anything that's a government report or paper or a report paper or authored book. So you can see now we have 92 items. A bit easier to look through than 370 or whatever it is. If you change your mind on any of these filters, you can just click on the X here to remove them, or you can come down to your facets here and uncheck the boxes. Or up the top, if you want to get rid of all the filters we've added, you can just click on this link here. Okay, the other important feature on the search results page is the star to the left of all the titles. So you can see that here. This star now represents my selection. So the same as this star up here in the main tool menu bar. So if you wanted to add any items to my selection, you simply click on the star and it turns solid color. So let's just select a few so that we can look at my selection in a minute. So I'm just selecting randomly. And just keep in mind too that we still have the ability, to add things to my selection from the full record page as well. So I've left this one empty so we can demonstrate that. So let's go to the full record page for this item. It's an NCVER report. So we just click on the title and here's the full record page. So this has changed slightly still got the title up the top. You've got the abstract. You can show more of that here. You've got the most, I guess, important metadata listed underneath. The authors, publishing details, the resource type, and also here's the URL to access this on the internet. And the important, probably not as urgently required to know, the show more provides more information about the item, and this might include some notes or links to related items here. And then underneath that, we have all the subjects and keywords and geographic subjects. So these are in little buttons, and you can click on any of these. They're all hyperlinked. The same as the authors are hyperlinked up here. And clicking on these just runs a new search. So if I clicked on industry, for example, it will then run a new search where it's pulling up everything in the database that has the subject industry. On the right-hand side here are some essential actions, I guess. So here we can also add to my selection. So I can click there. Once again, the star gets filled in with the color there. Also, we can click down to the full text. Now, this will only be active, this link, if the item is in our repository. So if this is grayed out, then look for the URL in the record here or the request from NCVER link. You've also got the get citation link here, the share, and the permanent link. So clicking on this allows you to access what we call our handle, but it's a persistent identifier for this record, and you can copy this link and use it for referencing or bookmarking. The new feature here is the report a broken link, and that's this new purple icon here with the exclamation mark on it. So just click on that, and it's populated my email because I'm logged in. Another feature, I don't have to type in my email, which is required. You can put a comment here if you need, but then just check the capture box and submit. And then that'll come through to us as an email alerting us that that link is broken, and we can go in and fix it and let you know when that's done. So that's a good feature because, as we know, URLs break all the time, and that can be most annoying. Here, I'll just show you the full text. If we click on that, it takes us down to the bottom of the page. So here are the files associated with this record. And if we want to download any of these, we just use the download button as such. And we can also download via QR code just by clicking on this icon. Brings up the QR code. We can scan that with our phone and take this record with us wherever we go. Okay, so now that we've got some items added to my selection, and we know we do because up here we can see there's now the number 9 above this star icon. So we can see that, you know, how many items we've added. If we click on that, it takes us to my selection, and these are the items that we added here. And I think, you know, my selection not only has a more sort of user-friendly display, but I think now you'll really appreciate one of the new features here, and that's the ability to create folders and sort your items that you've saved into those folders. And remember, this is only available to you if you're logged in. So when we've added items, they've just automatically been put into the default folder, which is called unsorted here. But you can create a new folder by clicking on this link to the right here and just enter a folder name. I've just been using project 1, for example, and we can click save, and we can see that's now listed here next to the unsorted folder. So unsorted will always appear first, and then all your other folders will be aligned by, it will put in alphabetical order, I should say. Now, you can only create up to 5 folders. That's just enough to go across the top here, and hopefully enough for, you know, if you're working on multiple projects, but shouldn't have too many projects on the go, I guess. And once you reach the limit, then this link here is no longer active, so they'll become grayed out. So that'll let you know you've reached your limit. I think folder names have a 20-character limit as well, so keep that in mind. But let's look at adding items to folders. You can do that individually. So if I wanted to individually add this one to our folder, I can just click on the Move to Folder icon over here and click Project 1 and add that. Or I can actually select multiple items here. And once I select multiple items, you can see that these two options here become active. And I can click on Move to Selected Folder. Now, once again, I can choose Project 1, or I can also create a new folder from here. So perhaps Project 2. And you'll see that now this unsorted folder, there's now only 5, because an item can only be in one folder at a time. So if we click on Project 1, we've got the 1 item we put in. Project 2, we've got the 3 that we put in. You can rename these folders by clicking on the down arrow here, or you can actually delete them from here as well. If you click on delete, it does prompt you, gives you the option to move the items in this folder back to your unsorted folder. So if you want to get rid of the folder but don't want to get rid of the items, you can check this box here and click yes. And so now they're all back in unsorted, except for the one that's still in Project 1. You can also select all items using select all items thing and toggle up here, and you can remove them all together at once if you wanted to, or you can remove individual items using the bin icon on the right here. And remember, you can still access the citation tool from here and email yourself any of the items listed. Okay, so that's my selection. Let's now look at save searches and search history. So that's the clock icon here, the reverse clock, I guess. Gives you the option of search history or save searches. Let's go to search history. From here, you do have the 2 boxes anyway. You can then click on save searches, click on save history. So you can toggle between the 2 from here. So search history allows us to see the searches that we've run, to rerun searches we've already run, to save searches, set up email alerts, combine searches together. So it's a really good new feature. Now on search history, you'll see here's a list of all the searches that we've been doing. You'll notice here that this one, the last one we ran, is very similar. That's because we ran this search, and then every time we added a filter from the facets, it reran the search. So that's why all 5 look the same. But you can use the drop-down arrow here to see the full search string, and that gives you an idea of what the search is. You can also click on the link here, the shortened version of the actual search string, to actually rerun that search. On the left here, you can see the date and the time that the search was run. Just keep in mind, though, that this works on UTC, or Universal Time Coordinated, which used to be Greenwich Mean Time. So the times and the days may not actually match what you expected, to see there. So, for example, yes, our day is right. Date and day is correct, and the time's off, and that's because it's the time at UTC and not the current time here in Adelaide. So if you needed to convert that, you could just do a quick Google search with that time and UTC and your city name, and it will tell you what time it is akin to in your location. Okay, we can also from here use the same selecting features. So select all of our items, and this then brings up remove selected items, and save search makes them active. Individually, we can select items, and in And if we just wanted to do one thing to one search, for example, say we wanted to save this search we just ran, we can come here and just click Save Search. If you wanted to save a number of searches, then obviously you can select them if you want, and then use the Save Search here. If we wanted to also, let's, for example, how I said we ran 5 different searches for this search string because of the filters we added. Let's delete the 4 so we don't get confused. This is the one we ended up with. So we can select those 4 and remove them altogether. Of course, you can do that individually with the bin icon on the right. By default, you get 10 previous searches listed here, but you can then obviously navigate back pages to see other searches that you've conducted. And you can save, I think, 25 searches if you're logged in and 2 searches if you aren't. So let's go to Save Searches here. So first off is this Save Search we just did. We use the drop-down arrow. Here's a search string we did before, looking for partnerships with employers and education and training providers that were reports related to Australia and North America. And here's 2 other searches that I saved earlier. So what we can do here, 2 different things on Save Searches. The first one is we can combine searches. So of course, if we wanted to rerun any of these, we know we can just click on the hyperlinked search here. But say we wanted to combine some searches, we can do that here. So if we hover over this expert search down here, we hover over the plus sign. If we click on that, it adds it up into the search box here. So this was looking at the subject apprenticeship or traineeship and resource type article. Now, if we want to combine that with another search, our second one here is, if we hover over, it gives us this option of which Boolean operator do you want to combine the searches with. So we're just going to go with and, we want all of these options. So I've selected that and here it is added to our search box. So geographic subjects, Australia or Germany, and year, published date range. Now this has used the asterisk, which is the wildcard, so 2020 to any date. So obviously can't go any further than 2024 in this case. We can actually edit this search if we wanted to. I can change that to 2024. Not totally required, it would have done the same thing, but just to show you that you can actually edit the search once it's in this box. Okay, then we can just click on search and we found 49 items. And we look at our facets. Here's apprenticeship in the subject and traineeship. And we were looking for just articles and we were looking for this date range here. So 2020 to 2024, so none from 2024. And we're also looking for 2 geographic subjects, just reminding myself what they were, Australia or Germany. So filters, the geographic subjects are filters Germany and Australia. So that seems to have worked well. The other thing you can do from this, which I didn't show you before, is save searches straight from this screen. You just click on this little icon here, which is next to the drop-down arrow. Tells us then that we've saved our search. And if we go back to save searches, you'll see now we've got 4 saved searches here. One of the things you can do also on this page is to set up an email alert. And we do that using this notify feature over here on the right. So you can see that this one that we ran earlier has no notification period because we've only just done that today. But I have set other ones weekly or daily. To change this, you just click on the hyperlink none. It's already got my email populated. The frequency is what we choose, daily, weekly, monthly. If we choose weekly, then we get to choose which day. But do bear in mind what I said before about this being UTC time. So you might choose Monday, but you might actually receive the email on Tuesday, early Tuesday morning sometime. So just keep that in mind. But useful to do that. We'll choose Monday and save. So now we've got 2 weeklies, a daily and one with none. We can actually filter if we wanted to. Say you've got all 25 saved searches here and you wanted to filter them by the notification period, then you can just choose that notification period and just look at the ones you get weekly. And then you can just uncheck that to go back to show all. And another thing to keep in mind too, that if you are coming in and changing this frequency, so say this one here, we actually wanted to change it to daily, then during that changeover period, because of the time difference, you may actually miss items that might get published during that changeover period, probably highly unlikely, but that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, that's all the new, improved, enhanced features of VOCEDplus. But what's still the same is the great database that we've got behind this website. It just keeps growing and growing. We still have our permanent URLs, we still have the citation tool, but we've got all our key resources up here, which are very useful, very popular, the Vet Knowledge Bank, including the policy initiatives timeline, very popular, the budget highlights. So have a look in those. And of course, you can contact us at any time if you need help or assistance or need some help constructing a search or accessing an item. You can contact us from there. Okay, we're finishing up now. So we'd actually like to open up the Q&A session. So questions and comments, you can submit them using your Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And we did have a few come through, so I'm just going to answer those two while we wait. The first one was, how do we know what the subjects and keywords are, which is a very good question. So today's webinar was all about showing you what's new and enhanced. So I didn't actually explain the subjects and keywords, but very good question. Now, if you come down to our help page, so in the footer down here, click on help. Here you can access a list of all of our subjects and keywords. And here's a list of all our geographic subjects. So if you want to know what you can use, you can access that document and look through that. But you can actually use the browse list as well. You can browse by subject and you can browse by keyword. So we have 51 or so subjects and over 600 keywords. So here's the browse by keyword page. You could type in a word to see what keywords we have that contain this term. So training, of course, there's lots and lots of keywords that have that. Let me try the social one, that's probably a bit less. Yeah, so here are all the keywords we have that use the term or have the term social in them. And if you're interested in any of these, you can actually just click on the link here and that just runs a search. So that'll bring up all the items that have that keyword attached. Or you can just use these lists to use guided search and expert search, just knowing, the controlled vocabulary that we use. So that's subjects and keywords. The other question was, right, yes. So this question is, what was the box that came up when I was adding things to my selection? I'm just going to rerun this search, so I've got some search results to show you. So when I was clicking on the star icon here to add this item to my selection, you notice in the right, a little message popped up to say that it had been added. But what you can do here is select the folder that you want the item to go into. So automatically it goes into unsorted, but we can choose at this stage to add it into one of our own creative folders. So I've saved that in project 1. And now if we come here to this folder, you can see we've got 2 items in it, the one we had before and the one we just added. So yes, you can do that from that page. It's probably a bit tedious doing that every time you want to add an item to a particular folder. It's probably easier just to choose all the ones that you want and then go into my selection, and then you can select the new ones and move them to the folder that you want. So that's what that message was that popped up. Looking for other questions. No other questions have come through, just some really nice feedback and comments from people that have been attending, saying it all looks good and they love the idea of, yes, the folders in my selection. That is a great feature. And people saying they've learned a lot. Excellent. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. So we're going to just wrap up. So let me just take you back to our slides. And we've done questions. I just wanted to remind you about the 33rd National Vocational Education Training VET Research Conference, No Frills, which is NCVER's own conference. That's going to be co-hosted with North Metropolitan TAFE in Perth this year, and registration's open in early July. So we hope that we'll see you there at No Frills. And also a short online evaluation survey will be sent by email, and we would appreciate if you could take some time to provide feedback on our webinar today. That will help us improve your experience for next time. So that would be great. Okay, well, we're done. Again, thanks for your attendance and thanks for your interest in VOCEDplus. Do feel free to contact us at any time if you've got any questions or you need any assistance. That's it from us now. Thanks for your attendance and have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.